Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for watching this video. Today we're going to do my top 10 favorite products from Covergirl. Covergirl is a brand that has been around for so long. They have released so many products. They still have some of their like OG releases, but for the last, I would say, 2 years, I really started to kind of get back into CoverGirl. I remember using CoverGirl when I was a lot younger, like in high school, junior high, but then I kind of took a break from CoverGirl, I feel like. Like I had a lot of just like key products, but a lot of their new releases didn't excite me until about 2 years ago. So ever since then, I've been trying a ton of CoverGirl stuff, and I have my top 10 products for you guys. All of them are face and eye products. CoverGirl lip stuff, I mean, they're good, they're fine. I'm actually wearing the Queen Collection Major Shade Liquid Lipstick today in the shade Rebel, and I'm feeling very like dark today. But I really like it, but it's just, they're a little streaky, a little patchy, kind of depending on the shade. So that's why they didn't make it in my top 10. But if I had to have an honorable mention, I would say that it was those, just because some shades apply really beautifully and they are a pretty comfortable formula. It's a more like mousse-like texture of a liquid lipstick. So they're pretty comfortable, but they do go on just a little bit patchy the darker the shade is. So that's why they didn't really make it in my top 10. But let's actually start talking about the products that did make it in my top 10. Okay, so let's go ahead and start off with primer. A primer I want to talk about is the TruBlend Base Business Skin Smoothing Primer. So this is a white lotion-y type primer. I just apply it right on my hands and then just put it into the skin, really focusing on my T-zone. What this primer does, it's not super silicone-y, which I like because it doesn't feel greasy on my skin. But it's also not super drying like a mattifying primer kind of is. I feel like this is a great primer for all skin types because it does offer a more smooth type of finish on the skin without being super greasy, but it also helps my makeup stay on a lot longer. So this is just a really great primer across boards just because it's not too greasy and hydrating, and it's also not too drying. It's just a really nice middle of the road, I almost said foundation, primer, and it does give a nice smoothing effect without being really pore filling, dimethicone-y, you know, where like some people break out with that. This primer doesn't feel that way. I'm really sorry if I sound a little off. I have been sick for the last like 2-3 weeks. I swear, it's so annoying, but my voice was kind of gone, so I really couldn't film, but today is like the first day I have my voice back a little bit. I still sound a little sick, but at least I have a voice to talk, so I wanted to film this video for you guys. Okay, let's move on to foundations. So the one I'm wearing today and one I have loved for a very long time is the Clean Matte BB. I think this is probably like the third one I have bought of this. This is the newer packaging, which I think is so cute. It's a really nice formula. I do have the shade 510 Fair. But what I love about this formula is that it's a matte BB cream. I mean, it's like, it feels so light on the skin, but it offers such amazing coverage, and it does keep me matte. I feel like a lot of BB creams are super hydrating, so I really do. When this came out, I remember I was so excited to try it, and I'm still in love with it to this day. It is just the easiest product. You can put it on with a brush, a sponge, your fingers, and it just blends in really nicely. You don't need a lot of it, but it does offer really kind of foundation-like coverage with the BB cream feel, which I love because I do have things to cover. And so if I'm gonna wear foundation, I'm gonna wear foundation. Like, I want it to cover something. And this definitely does, but it feels a lot lighter on the skin, which I also really like for this time of year, just because it's hot outside, it's humid, and I don't want to feel like super thick things on my skin, you know? And this is just so, so good. It does say it's oil-free. It's for sensitive skin, and it lasts all day. And I totally agree with that. I think it lasts so long on the skin. It looks beautiful. And so I definitely recommend this product. The next foundation that I want to talk about is the Vitalist Healthy Elixir Foundation with vitamins. It says it's a broad spectrum SPF of 20. By the way, the Clean Matte BB, I don't think it has an SPF in it. I wanted to mention that. I know BB creams normally do, so it's kind of funny that this one doesn't. but this one does if that's something you're interested in. This is the shade Classic Ivory number 710. The packaging is beautiful on this, first of all. Like, it's stunning. But I also just love this in the wintertime, especially just because it offers a more like natural finish that leans a little bit dewy. I am someone who has oily skin, and I usually like a more like natural matte, natural satin matte, comfort matte, whatever type of finish on the skin. Not something super flat matte, but also not dewy by any means. I just kind of like when my skin looks like skin, but a little bit more mattified. And so this one does that in the winter time for me. In the summer, it's a little bit too dewy just because I do live in an area that's pretty humid, and it's just sweaty and gross here a lot of the time in the summertime. So things break up a lot. My sweat comes through a lot and I get really oily. So this doesn't really work for me in the summertime, but in the winter, in the fall, it's so beautiful just because it offers that like, it kind of takes the dullness of my skin during those times and makes it look so much more alive and awake and healthy. So I love the name of this because I feel like it really does that for my skin. You know, in the winter when your skin just looks a little like, this takes it and makes it look like, hi, I've drank all my water. You know what I mean? Like, it looks really, really good. It says it's oil-free, it's lightweight, full coverage. I would say this is like a medium to buildable full coverage. You definitely need to build it up a little bit to get the full coverage, but I really enjoy this foundation, and I think a lot of people would. I think if you have dry skin, if you have oily skin, I think you would really like this. Normal, combo, everything in between. You would like this foundation just because, like I said, it's just a nice finish on the skin. It's nothing too matte, nothing too dewy. It just looks really, really good, and it makes your skin just look nice and healthy. So love this. Okay, the last foundation I want to chat about is a newer release for CoverGirl and also a newer product for me. I think I bought this in like April, May. And this is the, maybe even before that. I don't know. But this is the TrueBlend Matte Made Comfort Matte Foundation. I am obsessed with this. I have talked about this to death on my channel. I bought this and then they did send me the full line. They have like 40 shades. It's so amazing. It's a comfort matte finish, which is my favorite type of finish on a foundation just because it makes my skin look really, really good and really perfected, but also still like skin. And I do have the shade L60 Light Nude. It's probably a little light for me, but whatever, I make it work. At least I think I do. I don't know. It does come with a pump, which I really like. The packaging is kind of that traditional CoverGirl packaging, but it's just so nice. It's just a really good medium to full coverage foundation. I would say this is more full coverage than the Healthy Vitalist, but it's just, gosh, it's just so good. It doesn't break up on the skin. It wears so beautifully throughout the day. It doesn't make me like cakey and gross looking. It also doesn't make me overly dewy and gross looking. It just keeps my skin looking so nice throughout the day. And I absolutely love that about this foundation. And like I said, you can definitely build this up to be really nice and full coverage without looking super cakey. And that is what I look for in a foundation. Okay, I have a couple concealers to talk about. The first one has been around in my collection for a while. This might be like the, I think this is the second one I have purchased. This is the CoverGirl Outlast All Day Concealer. This is such a nice concealer. It's a thinner formula, so it's not going to offer a ton of full coverage, but there's something about this concealer. When you put it on under your eyes, it feels cooling. Like, it is really interesting, and it just, it's like a serum-y type concealer. So it's thinner, but it doesn't really settle into lines like a ton or anything like that. I mean, not any more than any other concealer does, but it's just so thin and it feels really nice and cooling. It's almost like a gel type of concealer. It's a really interesting formula, and I personally just love it. I think it's so nice for every day because it offers some coverage, but you also don't look like super sculpted and like you're Instagram ready. You know what I mean? Like, when I go to work, I don't want to be like full glam, full coverage. Oh my goodness, I'm ready for my Instagram close-up. Like, no, don't get me wrong. There's a time and a place for that, and I love those types of products. But for every day, this is just so nice. Like I said, it's a more like gel serum-y type, which is kind of fun. They do run a little bit dark, the shades do. I have the shade 810 Fair, and it's not like a super brightening concealer. It's pretty much like a skin tone match for me. Now, going to the other side of things, something that is really brightening is the new TrueBlend It's Lit Concealer Pen. So this just comes in a pen like this. You click it up and you just draw it on your face. And I have the shade, I don't know, it doesn't say it on here, but I'm pretty sure it's Fair, like it's the lightest one. I used it today just to kind of brighten up the under eye area, and this really does brighten. Again, it's not super full coverage to where you're going to be really nice and sculpted, but it is brightening, more brightening than the Outlast one. At least I guess shade is for me. But this is a little bit thicker than the Outlast one. It feels more of like a traditional cream type concealer. It's just a little bit thinner of coverage. It's not like a Tarte. I always say that, and I'm like, no, you're not sharding, Andrea. It's not like a Tarte Shape Tape or a Catrice Liquid Camouflage or a Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer that's really kind of thick and full coverage. It's a thinner formula than that, but it definitely is a little bit more coverage than the Outlast one does. So if you want something kind of in the middle of all those really full coverage concealers and the Outlast one, go for this one. It's great. Okay, now that all of the complexion products are out of the way, let's move into some of the more colorful things. So I want to talk blushes. CoverGirl recently released their Peach Punch blushes, and I am obsessed with these. I don't know why, I just feel like these are better than every other blush from CoverGirl, but I do. The one I am wearing today is 130. It is just a nice like poppy kind of peach color, whereas 120 is a little bit more of like a muted neutral type of peach color. But these are so smooth. They are so beautiful. They're a nice satin finish blush, and they just blend really well on the skin. They don't look crazy, and they're super pigmented, but and they're like a little powdery, but if you tap your brush, you're good to go. These are just really, really nice formula, and they last a long time on the cheeks too, which I really appreciate. Let's move on to eye stuff now that all the face stuff is done. What I want to talk about first is the TruNaked eyeshadow palettes. Now, these are totally like a personal type of thing. Some people like love them and some people hate them. I am someone who obviously loves them. They are a more powdery type of formula. Sorry. They are a more powdery type of formula, but if you tap your brush, they're fine. And they blend so effortlessly. The two favorite shades that I have, like two of my favorite palettes, are the nudes, which is what I'm wearing today. It's a more kind of like cool toned, neutrally brown type of palette. It's kind of like a dupe for the Naked 2 from Urban Decay. And then the other one that I love is the Sunsets. This is a newer release for them. It's those pinks and those oranges, that really nice warm eyeshadow palette trend that we are seeing, and it's just beautiful. So I wanted to choose just my two favorite ones because the formula is great across the boards on all of them. But I wanted to just shout out two of my the two like top picks for shades that I love. I love this formula. Like I said, a little bit powdery, you gotta tap your brush, but they blend so effortlessly. They are pigmented. The mattes are just outstanding. They blend so stinking beautifully, and the shimmers are really nice and pigmented too. I will say I usually like to use the shimmers like wet with, I either spritz my brush or my finger, which is what I did today to kind of get this look here, just to really add that nice pop of shine. But I love these because they're usually kind of all in like one color family. You know, like a palette is like the color family that it's in. But you can usually do like super smoky looks, really nice light looks with them. And so I love that you can just kind of play around with the palettes and get different looks within the same color family. I just think that's really unique. But overall, the formula is just outstanding to me. It's the thing that really just sells these palettes because they do blend so stinking beautifully. It's just out of this world. Now, what is eyeshadow without a good primer? And this kind of surprised me because normally, like, I like eyeshadow primers, but I don't fall in love with eyeshadow primers. You know what I mean? Like, they're just usually like good, you know? However, this one, when I tried it, I was like, wow, like this is insane. And it is the Lid Lock Up Eyeshadow Primer. So it comes with a wand, and I usually just use the smallest amount. I'll just pull it out and then I just go choop, choop, like tap each eye and then blend it. Now, this is an eyeshadow primer that you want to set because it is a little bit sticky. So what I did today was I put this on, and then I took this matte cream shade right here in the Nudes palette, and I just buffed that all over the lid, in the brow bone, in the crease, everywhere to really set the primer. Otherwise, things will tend to kind of skip if you just start blending into the crease without setting it. But because this is a like sticky type of primer, it holds on to shadow so well. And so if you want to just add a little bit more and then put a shimmer shade down, it's like bam in your face. It is so good. You can even use this as a more like glitter glue type of primer if you don't let it set. So if you just kind of put it on and then dab it and then add the shimmer, add the glitter right on top, instead of letting it like sit there and set and then doing it, this will really just grab onto all of that and act more of like a glue. So I just love how versatile this is, and honestly just how well eyeshadow lasts. It just sticks to this product and it makes it last all day long. It is so, so good. Okay, last but not least, this product is not going to be any surprise. It is the CoverGirl Clump Crusher Water Resistant Mascara. This is something that Emily Noel, 83, made me buy years ago, and I use this on my lower lashes. I know it's kind of high maintenance to have a different mascara for your lower lashes, but whatever, I do. This has never smudged, has never ran, has never flaked. It is easy to come off. It's never been a pain to get this mascara off at night. It is just so stinking amazing. I have used this through weddings, through funerals, through everyday oiliness and humidity in the Midwest. It is just outstanding. It doesn't move, yet it's so easy to take off. It's like the most weird formula, and the brush is one of those brushes that is kind of curved, so it really just hugs the lower lash line so nicely, and every lash gets coated. It doesn't make it look super clumpy. It doesn't make it look super like nothing's there. It's wonderful. I don't even know how many of these I've bought. Like, it's countless because these are just so good. And to this day, I haven't found anything I like more. Just because of the brush, the formula, everything is just so good about this mascara that I haven't found anything else I like better than this for my lower lashes. It's bomb. It also works on the top lashes, but I feel like it doesn't add like as much volume on the upper lashes as I like. So I just stick with this on the bottom, and it's heaven, heaven. Okay guys, that is it for my top 10 CoverGirl products. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys learned something or maybe found a new product that you like. If you have any favorite products from CoverGirl, leave them in the comments below for all of us to see. Also, if you want to see any more brands and kind of this Brand's Best series that I do, I will link my playlist down below, and if there's not a brand there that you want me to do, leave it in the comments below and request that brand for me. Thank you guys again just so much for watching and all your support. I love you guys, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.